Everyone, and welcome to the Stress Alleviator system. The 6 steps to alleviating your stress. It's such an honor to be here to share this experience with you. And we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, and for some reason I can't stream it to the group. So when I am recording it, so when we have gone through the system, I will upload the recording so that you can see it for yourselves. Don't know why, can't explain why it's not doing it, so it's something I'll need to look into or get my technical person to look into for me. I'm not very good with the techie stuff. So anyway, welcome, and as I say, it's a pleasure to be here to take you through this system. And just so that I can tell you a little bit about me, I am Debbie Debidaire. I am the creator of Heart Act and also the creator of the Stress Alleviator system. And how did I come across the Stress Alleviator system? Why did I create it? Well, I'm going to show you some slides. I'm going to be moving kind of backwards and forwards between the slides because I don't want you to have death by PowerPoint, and just want to make sure that we get all the information for you. Now, before I do start, whether you're watching it, if you're going to be watching the recording, I have put the link in there for the workbook that goes with the actual session that we're having with you today. It's really important that you have that workbook so that you can make notes and you can carry out the little exercises that's in there so that you can get the most out of this session. It's going to be about 60 to 90 minutes. And I'm going to just give you as much information as I possibly can without bogging you down too much. So how did I come across, or why did I create the Stress Alleviator system? So just bear with me. I'm going to share my screen with you, just so that you can get to see a little bit about who I am and why I came across and did the Stress Alleviator system. So just bear with me a second. More technical difficulties, and what's happening here? Let's just see why it's not okay, for some reason it's not letting me do this. Just bear with me 1 second. Let's see what's going on, shall we? Oh, botherations. There we go. Right. So let's start again, shall we? Oh, the joys of technology, eh? So this was me before I created, or the reason, the before photograph is the reason I created the Stress Alleviator system. This was me in my darkest days. Now, I know it looks nothing like me, but believe me, it is me. And this was when I was going through the depths of my own clinical depression, and the time when I had just recently survived my 3rd attempt at suicide, which was kind of the pinnacle of how my life changed. 2 weeks after I survived my 3rd attempt at suicide, I woke up in the middle of the night, lay fully clothed and dishevelled on top of my bed, and I felt something hard in my hand. And when I looked down, it was the neck of an empty wine bottle. Now, that came as quite a shock to me because I wasn't really a drinker, so to have drank a whole bottle of wine was quite startling. But more startling than that was the fact that my little boy, who at the time was about 7 years old, was asleep in the bedroom next door. And at any time through the night, he could have come in and found his mum in this state. I sat up in the bed, swung my legs round to kind of put them over the bed, facing the door to my bedroom. And I can't explain really what happened next, whether it was an apparition, a vision, a dream, but my little boy's face was here. Not physically, he wasn't there, he hadn't entered the room, but he was here, right in front of my face. And the look in that little boy's eyes and the tears streaming down his face made me realise that this little boy needed his mummy. Now, the reasons that I'd tried to take my own life was because I'd had kind of thrown at me numerous times that I wasn't a fit mum, that my son would be better off without me. So I believed that I was the toxic person in my little boy's life and that he would be better off without me. And that's why I tried to leave this world. But this face that stared at me made me realise that my little boy did actually need me. I'm still getting a lump in my throat now when I talk about it. And my little boy actually gets married in 2 weeks' time. So he's not so little anymore. But what that did for me, that apparition, what it did for me, it made me realise that I needed to do something. I needed to change my life so that my little boy had a mum who could function the way a mum should function, that she could take him day by day in a life that he was deserving of, but not only that he deserved, but also she deserved. So I went on a transformational journey. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy. There were a lot of down times where I wanted to give up again, but I kept seeing that vision, so it pushed me through. And that is what got me to where I am now, to create the Heart Act approach, to create Heart Act and to bring to you this stress alleviator system. So that, because what I didn't want was, I didn't want, especially women, to be stuck in that life where they didn't know how to move forward. They were so trapped by the control of their emotions that they didn't know how to step forward, that the life was totally out of balance. They just couldn't, I couldn't see a future for me, my little boy, at that time. And I didn't want it to take any other woman the length of time it took me to transform out of the other side. And that's why I'm bringing what I'm bringing to you today. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory. Okay. Now, when I was putting everything together and going through my transformational journey, I did a lot of research into the relationship between the brain and the heart. And just recently, I did some more research to see how the facts had changed. And I just want to run through some statistics with you, not to bore you with statistics, but just to run through them, just so that you can see if any of what comes up resonates with you, dealing with your stress, dealing with your anxiety, dealing with your depression, and just see if any of these resonate with you. And once we've gone through these, I will then start going through the system with you. So we're going to start looking at behavioural effects first. So 46% of the people surveyed say they ate too much or unhealthily due to stress, anxiety or depression. 29% say that they started drinking or increased their drinking due to what I call sadness, stress, anxiety and depression. 16% say they started smoking or increased their smoking. So these are all behavioural effects. Then you've got the psychological effects. 51% of adults feel stress and depression at the same time, and that is actually quite common. And you can also feel anxiety in the mix as well, because anxiety is a much deeper, stronger stress, and it has much different effects on you, both in a psychological way and in a physiological way. 61% reported feeling anxious. 16% had self-harm. 32% had suicidal thoughts and feelings. So then I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight. So if any of those resonate, you know, please mention it below the recording in the Facebook group when the recording gets in there. And because that will really help us to understand where you're coming from if any of that resonates with you. Okay, you don't necessarily have to say what it is, just say whether or not any, you know, yes, it resonated or no, it didn't. So what are the causes of stress? Again, this is just a statistic that came from the Mental Health Organization. Okay, so 36% say long-term health conditions is a factor, and I know this definitely to be true with a lot of clients that I work with who do have a long-term health condition. 22% cited debt. Financial situations are a huge cause of that. I know it says they're only 22%, but from the clients that I work with, it is quite a big issue. 49% of 18 to 25-year-olds compare themselves to others. Now, this was really interesting when I found this out, because society, I believe, causes this comparison syndrome in the younger generation. But it's not just the younger generation. A lot of older 24-year-old plus, 50 plus, you know, play the comparison game, and it is destructive. 36% of women related their stress to body image. Body dysmorphia, sorry, is quite traumatic. And 60% of 18-year-olds, 18 to 24-year-olds, and 41% of 25 to 34-year-olds cited the need to succeed, which again, I think is peer pressure, society, you know, possibly parents and other adults in their lives. So again, this has all come from the Mental Health Organization. So now let's talk about the stress relief system. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and show you the six steps, and then I'm going to go deeper into each of the 6 steps, some more than others, so that you can just get more of an insight into what it's all about. And then I'm going to show you a way that you can actually access the stress relief system. So any questions that come up, please pop them in the Facebook. So these are the 6 steps. Self, so that's your current self that you're right at right this moment. Triggers, resilience, emotions, support, and sustainability. So in your workbook, there is a section on current self, okay? And that's what we're going to start with. So the first one is self. The thing is, you cannot move forward unless you know exactly what is going on for you right now. And it's not just in certain areas, but I focus very much on the 5 main areas, the 6 main areas of your life. And we'll go into those in detail in a second. And you'll see in the workbook that there is a section for you to write down where you are currently. So just be with yourself for, 10, 15, 20, however long it takes, all right? Just with your pen and your workbook or a journal and just write down all of the things that you would use that describe your current self. Okay, things that you want in your life, things that you don't want in your life, things that aren't working in your life, situations that really affect you in your life. Just as much as you possibly can, just get it all out. A lot of stress relief comes from removing it from here and removing it from your heart as well. And this is what we take you through in the stress relief system. So as I say, it's about your current state. What happens to you every day? How are you living your life every day? You know, it's both on a psychological level, on a physiological level, on an emotional level. Where are you right now today? And these are the 6 areas of your life. So you're in the middle, okay? And these are the 6 main areas of your life that I concentrate on. And the reason I concentrate on these is because these were the 6 areas of my life that I had to concentrate on when I was going through my transformational journey. There are, of course, other areas in your life, and they may have effects on you. If that is the case, then please include them in your journaling, in your writing, so that we can be aware that there's other areas in your life that actually affect you. So let's have a look at them. They're not in any particular order, okay? So spirituality. Now, spirituality isn't necessarily about religion. Spirituality is who you are as a person, your beliefs, your values, your morals, your attitude, who you truly are. And with spirituality, what you may find is that the beliefs and values that you're currently living by aren't working for you because they were given to you by someone else. For example, when we are children, we get our values and beliefs from our parents or other adults in authority, who we are in the care of, like teachers, for example, as well as parents. So they give us the values and beliefs to live by, which is absolutely fine when we're younger. As we grow older and we step into our true identity as an adult, teenager, adult, you know, we may have a battle with some of these beliefs and values because they don't actually lie right with us anymore. That's okay. You are a person in your own right. You can choose your own values. You can choose your own beliefs. And, you know, that isn't necessarily to, you know, upset your parents or others, but it's you being true to who you are. And this is where spirituality comes in. Then we have environment. Now, your environment takes up quite a few areas, okay? Your environment could be where you live, as in, you know, do you live with your parents? Do you live on your own? Do you live with your spouse? Do you live with your partner? Do you live with your own, you know, your own family, you know, children, husband, partner? It also can be your work environment. How does your work environment sit with you? Does it work with you? Does it work against you? And then also your community environment. How does that work with you or against you? So it's not just environment as in, you know, the outside world, but it can be actually closer to home as well. Relationships. Again, relationships is quite a broad topic as well, because relationships are about other people, but also about yourself. So what's your relationship like with yourself? How much do you love yourself? How much do you care for yourself? You know, what language do you use to yourself? Is it detrimental? Is it degrading? Is it exciting? Is it loving? Is it forgiving? Okay. And then you have relationships with others. So relationship with your partner or spouse, relationship with your children, relationship with your brothers and sisters, relationship with your parents, relationship with your friends, relationship with your work colleagues, relationship with other people you come into contact with, like your doctor, your hairdressers, etc. So it's looking at all of those relationships and seeing whether or not they work with you or against you. And then once you work out where they are within yourself, you can then start making the changes that are needed to help you live a more fulfilled life. Okay, relationships is probably one of the most difficult ones, but it can be done, can be changed. You have choices. You are a person in your own right. You can make your own choices. Now, I know for some that's very difficult, and it was for me. You know, I was emotionally abused, I was bullied, I was controlled. So I know how difficult coming out of that type of relationship can be. However, it can be done. Okay, I have done it. And I guide, empower, and inspire others to do the same in a safe and responsible way. So next we have career. Now, this can be career, it can be a job, it can be your business, wherever you are in life, all right? And it's looking at, are you in a career because you need the money? And you've got this job because it's the job you were told to go for, but it's not fulfilling you, it's not your purpose in life, it's not what you thrive towards. There are so many people in this world in a job or a career or a workplace where they do not want to be. You have the choice to change. Now, I'm not saying walk away from your job. What I'm saying is be true to yourself and what is it that you want to do, and take the steps towards getting there. You know, while you've got the job or the career or the business that you don't really want, then while that's bringing you an income, work on what it is that you do want to do. And then we've got financials, a biggie again. Okay, so how is your relationship with money? Do you have a really good relationship with money? Is your relationship with money horrendous, and that really shows in your financials? How often do you look at your bank statement or your bank balance? Do you look at it every day? Are you aware of what goes out of your bank every single day, or how you use your money, or know how your money works with you? And you know, a very dear friend of mine, Karen Bates, is a money expert, and she explains relationships with money in such a beautiful way that it makes you understand that money is actually just made of paper. It's a thing, like a desk, like a computer. Okay, and you know, in years gone by, we used to, you know, in order to purchase something, we used to exchange one thing from another. Money never passed hands. It was, you know, you can have this cow for your chickens or things like that. So, you know, suddenly when we got this paper money, we gave it such hierarchy that it controls us if we allow it. So money is one of those things that you need to control and not the other way around. Okay, it's not something I'm an expert in by any stretch of the imagination, but if your financials is something that you want support with, then I can point you in the right direction to get the support. But it's understanding that you need to be constantly aware of your money, where it's going, when it's coming in, what you're spending it on, and being aware of how you're spending it. You know, are you constantly in debt? Is there more money going out than coming in? And can you see how you can readjust that? Do you budget? Do you have a budget? You know, do you know exactly what's going out every month and exactly what's coming in every month? You'd be surprised at the number of people do not have a clue. They just know bills get paid, money comes in, bills get paid. Money comes in, bills get paid. But the emphasis is very much on the money rather than the relationship that you have with the money. And once you can grasp hold of the relationship that you have with money, then it can open so many doors for you with your financials. Okay. And last but by no means least is health and well-being. Again, another biggie, okay? And it comes in so many different forms, all right? Because it's not just your physical health, but it's also your mental health. You know, it's how you look after yourself, how you care for yourself. And it's also understanding, especially where stress, anxiety, and depression are concerned, how they affect your health and well-being. What you do every day, how it affects your health and well-being. You know, the foods that you eat, the technology that you use and how often you use it, how that has an effect on your health and well-being. You know, how often you go outside. You know, a lot of people who are dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression, one of the hardest things to do is actually go out. And I did suffer badly from agoraphobia and couldn't actually go out. So I really appreciate how people feel. But when I realise that how that affects your body and your mind, working on that to release it and getting out there and facing the fear. Now I know that can sound really scary, but what I do in the Stress Alleviator system is help you to face those fears and actually, you know, get you to go out. Okay. I'd like to just share a little story with you right now about a young man that I did some work with, and he was I think he was 20, 21. And at the beginning, when I was working with him, I got him to do the current self, like I'm talking to you about today. And he couldn't go out. He had to go out every week with his granddad. He lived with his grandparents. And he was often sick before he went out. He was a nervous wreck before he went out. And his granddad would drive he would drive his granddad to the supermarket. His granddad would go into the supermarket, get the shopping and come back out, put the shopping in the car, and then the young man would drive his granddad home. I took him through the Stress Alleviator system and how to build and strengthen his emotional resilience. And when we finished our sessions together after 10 weeks, he not only was going out, but he was having breakfast before he went and wasn't sick. And the thing was, he did the work in sessions and outside of sessions to get him to where he was. I guided him, I supported him and inspired him, but he did the work. And he is an amazing young man. And he completely changed his life around. So I just wanted to share that with you on how you can actually, from being somebody who cannot go out, you can be somebody who goes out. And this young lady here, she was very stressed, had been someone who had dealt with eating disorders, and realised that her life was out of control. So again, I took her through the stress alleviator system and the building and strengthening emotional resilience. And she is now a lot better than she was. She eats much better. She you know, knows what her triggers are. She knows what to look for. And she often, you know, reaches out still, you know, especially when life events happen. You know, general day-to-day now, she's absolutely brilliant, but it's the kind of the more life, like I say, the life events that she just needs that little bit of support and inspiration and guidance to move forward. So you know, you can read that and see Alison's story. So the next one, triggers. Do you know your triggers? Again, I suppose in some ways it's the follow-on from your current self, because actually it's a part of your current self. But we are so in the zone of the stress, anxiety, and depression. Often we can be blinded to see what the triggers actually are. And often we don't take the time to recognize them, or there may be too many for us to really recognize. And some of them can be quite subtle, but can still trigger us. And when we go through the stress relief system fully, we spend time on these triggers and look at ways that we can move away from the triggers, or be in control of the triggers rather than the triggers controlling you. We look at how you can control the triggers. So for the purpose of this presentation for you, I've just highlighted some triggers, okay? Now, you may have triggers over and above what I'm going to show you. So please, again, if you could pop that below the recording in the Facebook group, that would be brilliant, because it will not only help me, but you may help others recognize that actually they have that trigger as well. So, you know, it's good that you can help them as well. So let's have a look at some of these triggers. As you can see, I love hearts. So work can be a trigger. So that can be colleagues at work, the work itself, the fact that you're looking for a different career. It could be the business. Your business is causing you triggers because of how it's going. It's not going the way you wanted it to go, etc. Financial worries. These can be triggers, most definitely triggers for stress, anxiety, and depression, because they can take over us, they can consume us if we let them. So these are very big triggers. Past trauma. You know, we all have life experiences, and sadly, some people's life experiences are traumatic. And a lot of people bury the trauma from the past, but unfortunately are living their life now being triggered by not necessarily the events of the past, but the emotions that are attached to those events in the past. And one of the things I do is that I don't necessarily take you back to the events in the past, but I take you to the emotions, so that we can get you in control of those emotions, so that you can leave those emotions in the past and not live them in the present. Because by living them in the present, you're actually stifling the future that you want for yourself. Okay. So past trauma can be a biggie for a lot of people. And the next one is family, which is hidden under my face. There you go. Family dynamics. We love them, don't we? Absolutely love family dynamics. You know, you could have, you could be in a loving family, you know, where everyone gets on with everyone, and everything runs really smoothly, which is fantastic. I would suggest that doesn't happen every day. You know, even the best of families can have disagreements and fallout. You can live in the family unit where it is arguments are the primary source of the day-to-day living. You can live maybe in a dysfunctional family. You may come from a dysfunctional family. You know, you may have parents who have separated. You know, so there's so many dynamics, you know, siblings who don't get on, or, you know, you come from a big family and there's like one group of the siblings get on and another group of the siblings get on, and the two groups clash. The dynamics are just endless. Okay. And when you're triggered by what's going on in the family, it can totally consume your everyday life. So it's being able to deal with those triggers, or understand those triggers, be aware of those triggers, and then work out how to be in control of those triggers rather than the trigger controlling you. Health issues, you know, especially lately with what we've been coming through or going through, there's been a lot of health issues. And one of the things with stress, anxiety and depression that a lot of people don't know is that it does have a real physiological effect on the body, on the structure of the body. When you're stressed, anxious or depressed, you will constantly walk around as if you have a heavy burden on your shoulders. And you will take up the stance of that. So you will start to be rounded shoulders. You will start to curve your back, because that's how you carry yourself. That's how you feel. That's how heavy you feel. So you carry yourself like that. And what that does, you can imagine this is your spine, or this is your spine, okay? When you are hunched over, you're bending your spine this way, when your spine actually should be straight. So you're putting pressure on your spine right the way up from, say, the coccyx all the way to the base of your neck. All right. And it causes a lot of wear and tear. So a lot of people who are dealing with stress, anxiety and depression are also dealing with a bad back. And it's how you manage that back pain so that it doesn't become another cause for your stress. I mean, that's just one aspect of how health issues can be a trigger. Okay. Negative thinking. When you're depressed, when you're stressed, when you're anxious, your mind is full of all of the negativity that's going on in your life. You know, and it's different for everybody, okay? And that's why I deal with it on an individual basis. I work with people in groups, but I deal with things on an individual basis as well. And all that negative thinking, all that's going to do is keep you stuck in the realms of the stress, anxiety, and depression. And the content or the cause of the negative thinking is what triggers the stress, anxiety, and depression. So just be aware of the language that you use to yourself. And when I was talking about, you know, the things that you don't want in your life, don't focus on them. Focus on the things that you do want in your life. So for example, I used to go around saying, I don't want to be told I'm not good enough. I don't want to be told I'm not good enough. I already know I'm not good enough. That's all negative talk. What I learned to do was change that round and tell myself, no matter what anyone else said, I am good enough. And it's just repetition and repetition, because at the end of the day, the negative repetitive talk is what's got you where you are now. So if you can change that to repetitive positive talk, it will move you away from stress, anxiety, and depression. Relationships, big trigger. Like we said, you know, it's one of the 6 main areas of your life. And it's the different types of relationships that can be triggers. You know, it can be your relationship with yourself, can actually be a trigger in itself. You know, especially if you are using negative self-talk and, you know, there's no self-love there or no self-care there. So your relationship with yourself can be quite a big trigger. Your relationship with your partner, with your spouse, with your children can all be triggers, and it's recognizing those triggers. And again, it can be subtle. It can be a word that they say. It can be the way they talk to you. You know, it can be so subtle that you're not actually realizing it until you stop and think about it and start writing it down and start journaling. I mean, I am an avid believer in journaling. Get it out of your head and onto paper, because then what that does is it gives you space in your mind to gain more clarity of where you want your life to be going. So next one is current trauma. You may be going through some current trauma. You know, it could be a loss of a loved one. It could be a breakup of a relationship. It could be something going on at work that you're trying to deal with, and that's triggering you. That's triggering your stress, triggering your anxiety, and triggering your depression. And then finally, life experiences. Again, it can be an experience from childhood, an experience that you're going through currently. It can be a one-off experience. It can be an experience that went on for a long time. And this one specifically is one of those things that trigger you, but you don't know it's triggering you because you've blocked it. You've buried it. But your body and your mind is still reacting to it, is still living the experiences, but without you realizing that's what it is that's causing it. So that's all about triggers. Again, like I said, this isn't an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination. So, you know, make a list of your own triggers. Try and see what you can come up with. All right. The next one is resilience. Now, resilience, excuse me. A lot of people have never come into contact with using resilience. All right. Now, a lot of people say resilience is the ability to bounce back, the ability to, no matter what's going on is to just deal with it and get on. Okay. But like you say here, you know, there's loads of different things here, you know. You can have a resilience to people, a resilience to risk, a resilience to well-being, a resilience to natural hazards, you know, resilience to tipping points, etc., etc., etc. But what is resilience? And it can mean different things for different people. But I researched quite a lot about this and came across the Heart Math Institute and trained to become a heart math coach, which was part of, I came across that when I did a lot of my research into the relationship between the brain and the heart, because what I was fascinated in was that the heart sends more messages to the brain than the brain does to the heart, which was quite fascinating to find out. And their definition of what is resilience goes a lot deeper than just bouncing back. And it's all about having the capacity to prepare for, recover from, and adapt in the face of stress, challenge, and adversity. So it's to prepare for, recover from, and adapt. And that's what you can do in all of your areas where your stress, anxiety, and depression take hold. And part of the stress relief system is taking you through how to be resilient. And I teach you how to be resilient, or how you can strengthen and build your own resilience. Okay, next one, emotions, a biggie, a big biggie. Now, with emotions, I've really gone into this in a lot more depth than the other ones, because I think it is paramount and the biggest part of you being able to relieve your stress, anxiety, and depression. So I'm going to just go through a few things with you. All right. Now, believe it or not, we all go through around 34,000 different emotions. Scary, but it's been proven that that's how many emotions we go through. Now, a lot of what I do is backed by science and research, and that's why I carry out what I carry out, because it has been researched, it is backed by science, and you know, we have the evidence to do that. So it's about feeling your feelings. It's really, really important that you allow yourself to feel your feelings and your emotions. Really, really important. If you don't, your body and mind will retaliate. And when you fight your feelings, rather than just allowing them to happen and not take control of them, this is where the dis-ease occurs, because you find yourself in a state of dis-ease because you're not at ease, because you're not allowing yourself to feel your feelings, whether they are negative feelings or positive feelings. You need to feel them. And if you're anything like me, you want freedom. You want freedom from these feelings and emotions that are keeping you trapped, free from your negative mental health, so that you can, like I always say, live life on your terms and not the terms of your emotions. And then that's when the joy of life happens. And like I say, your feelings and emotions affect your body, which affect your mind, which affect your body, which affect your mind, which affect your body. And it goes around in a vicious circle, unless you start doing something about it. So feeling, emotions versus feelings. Now, in the Facebook group, I went over the emotions versus feelings with you. And in your workbook, you will see some charts about the, comparing the two. So I won't bore you with that again tonight. So your emotions and your inner energy really need to come together and work together so that you can understand your emotions better. Excuse me. Right, these emotions here, stress, anxiety, depression, overwhelm, hopeless, panic, these are all what we call depleting emotions. They deplete your energy. They exhaust you. They are also known as low vibrational or low energy emotions. And sometimes stress and anxiety and overwhelm can be higher energy emotions, but how they affect you is in a negative, depleting way, because they exhaust you rather than exhilarate you. And in your workbook, you will also see that there is an emotions wheel and the emotion guidance scale, and they show you the different types of emotions that you go through. And like I said, it's not about the language that you use, it's how that emotion makes you feel will possibly determine what you call that for yourself. And it's different for everybody. But these particular ones are the ones that deplete you. And as I say, there are many more that do deplete you. And when you go through the system fully, we look into that, because what we do is we look at the emotions that you most commonly feel. All right. And then we have the other side of the scale. We have the renewing emotions, the high vibrational emotions, the emotions that keep us either content, which is a low vibration, but it keeps our vitality. And a lot of that is to do with our autonomic nervous system. So you've got fun, you've got love, you've got peace, you've got adventure, you've got joy, you've got control, you've got happiness, you've got freedom. These are all renewing emotions. And the more you can bring these emotions into your life and into your mind and into your body and into your soul, the more fulfilled and aligned you will be with the life that you want to live. Again, not an exhaustive list, like the other one wasn't an exhaustive list. And you will find more about them on those images that you get in your workbook. So, how to move your emotions from the stress state? Interesting. It's about having an emotions portfolio. And this is in your workbook, okay? So I'm just actually going to see if I can do this new share so that I can show you the, is it this one? Oh, that's Google. Right, I'm just going to actually stop sharing so that I can find what I'm looking for. I just want to show you the emotions portfolio so that you can see what it's all about. Just see if I can find the workbook. I'll share it with you in a second when I've found the portfolio. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see if I can share the. There you go. Okay, so this is the emotions portfolio. So these are this is the emotions wheel, and this is the emotions guidance scale. So an emotions portfolio is picking an emotion, so for example, hope, all right, and asking yourself questions. When have you felt full of optimism and hope? And writing it down. When have you feared the worst but still believed something good would happen? That's having hope and optimism. When have you found an inventive way to try and create a better future? It kind of starts you on the thinking process. Now, in this portfolio that's in your workbook, I've just chosen different emotions, okay? You can choose your own emotions, all right? Emotions that you may have felt in the past, but you don't feel anymore because stress, anxiety, and depression and other depleting emotions have taken over. Okay, so you can use your own emotions. All right, so you've got joy, for example. When have you felt utter joy? When has everything been at its very best? When have you felt that warm glow of complete happiness? And that's how you use your emotions portfolio. It gives you a reference guide, for want of a better word, for you to go to. So when you are feeling one of the depleting emotions, go to your emotions portfolio and look at what you used to do to give yourself joy. How can you bring that back into your life? Okay, so that's just a little overview of the portfolio. Let's get back to the hopefully, oh no, it didn't. Right, so just bear with me. I don't take you through everything else again. We'll just go to the portfolio. There we go. Okay, so emotions portfolio. It's a really, really useful tool for you to start changing your state, moving yourself away from all those depleting emotions. Now, I know it's not easy, okay, but where you are now, getting to the point that you are now wasn't easy either, okay, but it can be done. All right. And young Shannon here was another young lady who, you know, has built the tools and techniques to use and can recognize and differentiate when she needs what she doesn't need in her life. And she's learned that she can control how things impact her health on and her day-to-day life through using these tools that I'm going through with you today. I don't know why she's there again. Another tool is creating a mind movie, and I'll show you how to do this in the stress relief system. Now, if you want a copy of my mind movie so that you can see what it's about, what I'll actually do is I'll put it into the Facebook group so that you can watch it and see how I created my own mind movie so that I had things that I wanted in my life, things that to look forward to in my life, a little bit like a bucket list, for want of a better way of looking at it, but it's done in a specific way so that it has meaning for you and it has things for you to reach forward to. Oh, I won't bore you with it tonight. So the next one in the system, which is the first of the two S's at the end, is support. It is imperative that you have a support system. Even if it's just one person you can go to them, okay? Try and get as many people as possible that you can trust to support you. And what we do during the system is have a look at where you can find support from. And again, it's different for different people, depending on where you live, the type of person you are, what you look for as support. So again, I've just gone through some areas of support that you can reach out for that you may not have thought of, but can find ways of building this support. So it's all about building and creating a support network. So friends. Now, you don't have to have an abundance of friends, okay? I've probably got a handful of friends I can count on one hand that I would go to for support. I have a lot of people that I know, a lot of acquaintances, a lot of friends, but not friends, if you know what I mean. You know, so reach out for that support, you know, and make sure you choose your supportive friends wisely. All right, those who will work with you and not against you. All right, business acquaintances, you can reach out for support with those at work. You know, sometimes a lot of people only have their work colleagues as people that they can go to outside of the home. You know, again, choose them wisely, but they will support you. Extended family. A lot of people who are in living with in dysfunctional families, or don't have a very good relationship with their immediate family members, go to grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews to get the support. And, you know, sometimes they can become your best friend. But if they don't know that you need the support, how can they support you? One of the things that was once said to me, I do not have the right to tell someone whether or not they can support me. And what they meant by that was, by not asking someone for support, you're not actually giving them the opportunity to support you. You may say, oh no, they're too busy. Oh no, they won't want to support me. How do you know? That's your perception. They may be busy, but they may also have 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes for you and only you. But without giving them that opportunity, you will never know that. And that person, whether it be an acquaintance, a friend, an extended family member, without asking the question, you're taking that choice away from them. Just something to think about. Your neighbours. A lot of people get on really well with their neighbours, more so than they do their family members. Parents. You know, some people do have a really good relationship with their parents. I've got a lovely relationship with my mum. I had a horrendous relationship with my dad. You know, I would never have gone to him for anything. But with my mum, yeah, you know, and, you know, people may have people in their life who take the part of a parent, you know, and reach out to them. Reach out, create your support network. Doctors, you know, a lot of people confide in their doctors where they won't confide in their family or friends or acquaintances, you know, so ask for support from your doctor. And I don't necessarily mean ask for support in the form of medication. You know, your doctor may be able to support you by giving you advice, may be able to support you by referring you to someone like a counsellor or a therapist if you need it, or a coach if you need one. You know, your siblings, you know, you may have a sister or a brother that you confide in, and you may have a brother or a sister that you don't, you know, depending on how many are in your family. Again, don't take the choice away from them. Ask them. They may not want to, but you won't know unless you ask. And I know that sometimes may not be easy, but there are ways that you can ask. Your hairdresser. How long of a conversation do you have with your hairdresser? Okay, you know, you may not confide in them as such, but there can just be some moral support. Sometimes we just need moral support, you know, and they can support you in different ways to help you through. Even if it's just, you know, to have a good laugh while you're having your hair done, you know, because laughter is an amazing therapy. You know, laughter therapy I use quite a lot, and I've used it in a few of my groups. I use with a lot of my clients because it is so uplifting. It just is infectious. You cannot, when you do the laughter therapy with me, you cannot help but laugh. And that then releases your endorphins, which then makes you feel good. Social media connections, and I've put in brackets, but be careful, okay? Make sure you are talking to who you think you are talking to, okay? Don't send messages, actually jump on a Zoom or jump on a video call and have a conversation rather than message backwards and forwards, because it can be misinterpreted, like texting can be misinterpreted as well. Partners, you know, your partner is there to support you if you have the right loving relationship. Work colleagues, it's different from business acquaintances, okay? Again, you know, choose wisely, but there will be someone at work that you can confide in. Therapists, like I said, you know, that would possibly come from your GP or a therapist that, you know, like I'm an emotional therapist and I'm also a holistic counsellor, so people come for me for a lot of different things as well as my coaching. Oh, and there's something there that I can't see because of that. I forgot what it is. Oops. I've got to go back. Oh, sticks. Counsellors. Just remembered what I put. It's counsellors. Is that one. So the final S in the stress relief system is sustainability. So we take you through current self, we take you through the triggers, we take you through resilience, we take you through understanding and getting in control of your emotions. We show you how to get support, but you need to be able to sustain all of this, sustain all that you learn, all right? And to be able to sustain it, you need to put the work in, okay? And these 6 steps are simple steps, but they're not easy steps, and I totally appreciate that, okay? But doing the work and being consistent, being committed, visualizing the future that you want helps you with your sustainability. And, you know, yeah, I still have off days, but I know how to deal with those off days. So I have sustainability, because when I have the off days or the down days or something happens and I need to work through it, I have the tools and the resources, and I've done the research, and I've, you know, I've worked on myself so much that I have the sustainability. And that's what I want for each and every one of you, to be able to have that sustainability, so that stress, anxiety and depression are controlled by you and you are not controlled by them. And that's my wish for each and every person out there dealing with stress. To have sustainability, you need to learn. And by learning, I mean learn about yourself, learn about your triggers, you know, learn about how you can move forward in your life, or what it is that you want in your life. You know, you may, for example, want to be a lawyer, for example, okay? So start learning about how to become a lawyer. What steps do you need to take to become a lawyer? Do the A to the Z, or the A to Z, all right? What are the steps, Okay, don't look at the end result, don't look at the lawyer. All right, look at the steps. Look at the first step you have to take. And the first step you have to take in your learning is make a list of all the things you want to learn. All right, keep learning, never give up learning. All right, there's always something new to learn every single day. Take action. It's no good going through a system, being taught, inspired, empowered, if you don't take action on it. You know, you can do affirmations, you can do visualizations. These are all brilliant, brilliant starting points, but you then have to take action on them. That's when the miracles start happening. Self-care, paramount. You must have a self-care routine every single day, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You need a self-care routine. And that's part of what we do in going through the sustainability, making sure that you have a self-care routine. The right person. What I mean by that is that you have the right person in your life guiding you. I'm not the right person for everybody, okay? But there is the right person for everybody out there. And if I'm not the right person for you, I will help you find the right person, because it makes a huge difference if you work with the right person. If you work with the wrong person, you will get nowhere, because you won't have that synergy, you won't have that rapport, you won't have the support that you want, you won't have the guidance, you know, you won't be inspired, you won't be motivated, and you need all of those. Reach out to keep your sustainability. Reach out for the support, reach out for the guidance. Even when you've gone through whether it's my stress relief system or somebody else's, even when you've gone through it, you are, well, especially where I'm concerned, you are always able to reach out. You know, I have past clients, you know, message me and say, Debbie, have you got 10 minutes? I just need to chat about something. Something's happened and I'm not quite sure how to deal with it. I'm on the phone when I can and talking them through it. You know, it's not a, right, you've done the system, right, okay, bye, get on with it. It's not like that. And any coach, therapist, counselor worth their salt will give you that opportunity. Ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask a question. There are so many different ways that people learn. There are so many different ways that people understand. So ask questions if you're not sure. Ask questions, you know, about things that's going on for you that may not have been covered. Never be afraid to ask questions. Self-love, paramount, absolutely paramount. Self-love, really, really important, really important. You have to love yourself first before you can give your love to anybody else. Self-love is one of those tricky ones, but we do cover it, and I do walk you through it. Implement. A bit like take action. Learn something, implement it. Learn something, implement it. It's no good learning it if you're not going to implement it. Don't waste your time and just stay stuck. Or learn it, implement it, and move forward. Changes. If you want your life to change, you have to be the change in your life. So you have to make the changes. For things to change, You've got to change. And don't play the blaming game. Don't blame everybody else. Take responsibility for how your life is right now and take responsibility for changing it. That was a biggie for me, a real biggie. Again, sustainability comes from community, comes from that support network. Surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself with the people that you want to aspire to. And, you know, find out how they got to where they are. And do what they do what they did, so that you can become the person that you want to be, that that you're inspired to be. Plan. You have to plan. If you don't have a plan, or what they say is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it doesn't have to be, a big bloody spreadsheet with do this on a Monday, do this on a Tuesday, do this on a Wednesday. It's not about that. It's about planning for your future. Having goals, for want of a better word, all right? Having something to work towards and concentrating on the steps you need to take to get there. Don't concentrate on the end goal, concentrate on the steps to get there and work your way through the steps. And all I want to say to you is, be encouraged, be empowered, be stress-free, be thriving. Be alive to thrive. Now, if I can show you a way that you can embark on the stress relief system so that you can alleviate your stress with the help and guidance, would you be interested? If it's all right with you, I'm going to be bold and take you through what I've opened up for people. Now, sometimes, yes, it can be a big decision, is it for you, is it not for you? What shall I do? Should I do it? Should I not do it? What is it all about, And the thing is, yes, going through this presentation, you can work your way through the basics of the stress relief system. And you can do it on your own, but how quickly could you do it on your own? So it doesn't take you years and years and years and years and years like it did me. It took me 6 years to come out of clinical depression and then embark on a few transformational journeys, and there's always another transformational journey around the corner because you're up leveling all of the time, but from where you are now, how long do you want it to take you? I'm going to share what I have to offer you. And I'm announcing the Alive to Thrive arena. And the doors are opening tonight for the Alive to Thrive arena membership. And apart from fun, love, compassion, empathy, trust, and laughter, etc., this is what the Alive to Thrive arena is all about. It's a membership site where you can step into a safe space. Join like-minded people looking to be inspired, empowered, looking for guidance to move into a better state, into a better life, free from the stress, the imbalance, where they can give their families a better life, where they can have more balance, more joy, more peace, more tranquility, and just live their purpose, find why they've been put on this earth. Looking for support, guidance, empowerment, and encouragement, it's all there. So that you can take back your control to live life on your terms. So what happens? As a subscribed member, this is what you get. You get therapies. You get fun. You get meditations. You get accountability. You get empathy for sure. You get compassion. You get love. You get reflection, coaching, trust, workshops, masterminds, and full access to the stress relief system. Woo, woo. Well, hang on, there's more. Are you ready? You get the community. The Alive to Thrive arena is your safe community to be together, encouraging each other, supporting each other with my guidance, my support, my inspiring you, my encouragement, my empowerment. You get videos and you get audios and other resources. You get worksheets and love and just worksheets, scripts, exercises just to aid you in your transformation. And you have lifetime access to everything that is put on the in the membership. There's a 90-minute live training to guide and empower you, and that happens every Monday. A video guide to inspire and encourage you every Wednesday. A live 60-minute reflection and Q&A session to support you every Thursday. Sorry, the 90-minute training guide is the first Monday of every month, not every Monday. And you get continuous transformation and emotional resilience journey. You will get my specific affirmations and mantras to turn your negative thoughts into positive beliefs that will pave the way to your newfound confidence. All the resources I used, developed and created for my own personal transformations, creating lasting change. 24/7 lifetime access to the classes. So every mastermind, every workshop will be recorded and put into the membership platform portal so that you have access to it for life. And you can come back to them time and time and time again. The audio and video recordings of all the lives, like I said, and you can start to live the life you love, a life of freedom, full of contentment, joy, peace, togetherness, a life full of choices, your own choices, free of stress, anxiety, depression, free of overwhelm, worry, and fear. This is for you. And as an introductory offer, sign up. I've extended it to Sunday night to get 12 months for the price of 10 and a copy of the Emotional Resilience Toolkit ebook, a go-to resource for tips and techniques to help your transformational journey. You get all of this as a pioneer member into the Alive to Thrive arena for just £390. This introductory offer also gives you Pioneer membership status, being a member now and locking in this introductory price of £390 means when the price goes up, your membership fee stays the same for the lifetime of your membership. So it will never go up. It will always be £390 for a year's subscription. How does that sound? It's amazing, isn't it? I cannot wait to serve you. I really cannot. So why wait? Why wait? The law of diminishing intent. The longer you wait to take action on something that's good for you, something you really want to do, the higher the likelihood is that you won't take any action at all. So if you don't take action now on the thing that you want or need, you will probably never do that thing that you want to do at all. If we met 12 months from now, how would you feel if you were still feeling the depleting emotions that are not serving you well? I'd like to introduce you to Sasha. But first of all, let your future self thank you for taking action today. And this is Sasha. I worked with Sasha some 18 months ago, and she actually 2 weeks ago stepped into a new job. She worked really hard on herself, and she was just a joy to work with. She put the work in. Yes, she had times when, you know, she fell back, but she always got up. She always got up and pushed forward because she reached out for the guidance. She reached out for the support. And by goodness me, she improved her emotional resilience to now be working, and she is a completely different woman. Now, it may not take you 18 months, it might only take you 6 months, it might only take you 3 months. Everybody's different. But it would be an absolute honour and a privilege to serve you. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually put the link in the Facebook group, and you can click on the link to register for the Alive to Thrive arena. It's an amazing place to be, and I will be serving you in the Alive to Thrive arena community every week. I will be in there supporting you every single week, with your questions, with, you know, masterminds coming up, workshops coming up. There's so much that's going to be happening in there for you to get you to where you want to be. I was opening myself up for some Q&A, but because we can't live stream to Facebook, that won't be the case. But if you do have any questions once you watch the recording, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with me and ask or ask your questions in the Stress Alleviator community. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you so much, and here's to you. This is really important. Here's to you, choosing life, choosing freedom, and choosing you. And I am so privileged to have brought this to you today, and I will be sending and putting the link into the group for the recording, and also for you to step into the Alive to Thrive arena. If you are interested and would like a different payment option, then give me a shout, because there are other payment options available. Have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your Thursday. wherever you are in this wonderful world. And I will be with you very, very shortly. Take care, everyone. Bye.